There are two main misconceptions that are keeping you from growing a new strand right now. Get rid of these big myths, and I guarantee you, you'll probably start to see some new growth shortly. Hey everybody, it's Talitha, aka The Natural Hair Confidant here, the traction alopecia expert, helping you learn all the tips, tricks, and techniques you need in order to reverse your severe traction alopecia and get new growth in your receding bald spot that you've had for 2 years or more. Because I was where you were. And so I want you to now be where I am. So let's get into today's video. The very first myth, and that myth is the fact that all of these companies out here that are promising growth are saying that if you somehow do something, manipulate, strengthen, do something some kind of way to your hair follicle, that you're gonna get new growth, which is the farthest thing from the truth. Your hair follicle, by definition, is a hollow tube. It holds the strand in place. New growth comes from something that's at the base, the root. The root. Get into the root of the problem. New growth comes from the base, from the root, from the hair bulb. Your hair bulb is what produces a new strand. So if a new strand comes from the hair bulb, why are all these products out here focused on the hair follicles? The hair follicle ain't got nothing to hold if you don't even have a new strand. When I figured it out, it absolutely blew my mind that they was even portraying it. And then I wondered why. And I thought maybe it had something to do with this. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that, you know? It's probably coincidental. That's why if you were taking hair vitamins and the rest of your hair that wasn't falling out was getting longer, but your bald spot wasn't growing any hair and it was receding, that's why it did not work. Because they wasn't focusing on the thing that was important, which was my hair bulb. When you have hair that you're just trying to grow longer, then you want to focus on your hair follicle. But when you have a bald spot and you've had it for 2 years or more, your hair follicle is going through something that's called follicular atrophy, which means it's basically shrinking down on itself. And once it starts going through that phase, it's doing that because it's not doing its job. Its whole job is to provide structure. And if it can't provide structure, it kind of shrivels and dies. And it's shriveling and dying because the hair bulb isn't producing enough strand for it to hold. And the hair bulb isn't producing enough strand for it to hold is because there is no amount of manipulation or anything that you can do in order to manipulate your hair bulb to do what it's supposed to do, which is produce a new strand, besides giving it the proper nutrients and vitamins and minerals. That's all you gotta do. Hair, the way that you grow hair back when you have a bald spot is completely different than the way you grow hair back when you just want it to grow longer. You gotta give more time, nutrition, and attention to the bald spot area that you don't have to necessarily do, or you can kind of get away with, like wearing a wig. The second biggest myth is the fact that people are saying that a wig is a protective style. When really what needs to be stated is a wig is a protective style if your hair is healthy and growing. It's not you got a big old bald spot in it. Your wig is actually indirectly destroying your strands. Wearing a wig when you have a bald spot, especially a bald spot that's spreading and receding, and you've had this bald spot for 2 years or more, is more detrimental to you than someone that has a full head of hair of cornrows. Wigs are hot. They naturally sweat, even if they say that they're breathable. They're still going to make your hair sweat because it's a lot more stuff on top of your head than normally it is. And so your hair is going to sweat, even if just for a little bit. And when you have damaged strands, the one thing you don't want on your hair is sweat, because there is a chemical inside of sweat called lactic acid. Lactic acid eats keratin. Keratin is the strong protein, one of the strong proteins that your hair is made up of. And so if it's eating your strong protein, what's happening to your strand? It's becoming weak and brittle. And so indirectly causing more heat, accumulation of heat and sweat, And if you worn a wig, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the accumulation of the heat and sweat is causing your strands to basically be destroyed from the inside out. And so that begins to break down the strand. And once the strand starts breaking down, other things around it stop functioning. Like the hair follicle, it starts to wither away. And then the hair bulb stops functioning because it doesn't understand what's happening. And then you're not doing the proper things because you haven't been told or informed, or you just don't know what you don't know, to stimulate the hair bulb to produce a new strand. And that thing is you just have to give it the proper nutrients. I'm not going to go in depth of all of those nutrients. I've done a bunch of videos on them. If you guys want me to send you the video, let me know that you want it down below, and I'll send it directly to you in Messenger. So normally when I make a video like this, someone will say, but I can't get out of my wig. I get that and I understand it. You just have to make sure that you do more things daily in order to make sure that your strands stay as strong as possible. And whenever you're not at work, wear head wraps. I have a cheat sheet for 8 different head wrap styles that I found on BuzzFeed. I didn't create it, but it takes you step by step. It's very informative, and I'll give it to you. If you let me know down below you want it, what you want, just let me know you want it and I'll give it to you. I hope you found this video helpful. If you know somebody that could benefit from it, make sure you share it on all social media platforms. And don't forget to tag me at The Natural Hair Confidante or either at My Hair Confidante on Twitter. Until the next time.